Via satellite from our nation's capital is the House Budget Committee Chairman, Congressman Paul Ryan of the great state of Wisconsin. Congressman, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning, Steve, Brian, and Anna. Nice to be with you.
It's great to have you. Okay, so you're going to kick off today. Patty Murray, the senator from the great state of Washington, has sent over the Democrats' proposal. I understand later today you're going to officially start working on the budget, and you're also going to consider 5 alternative budgets as well. And what's interesting is there's one out there by the Republican Study Committee that actually balances the budget in, I think, 4 years rather than 10 years like yours does. Do you like that idea?
Sure, I do. The one problem with the baseline is it brings you out of deficits later on. We looked at the budget and we realized we could probably balance in 5 years. The problem is with the way the numbers work is it brings you back out of balance soon thereafter. And what we wanted to do is have a credible plan that got us to balance and stayed in balance, got us into surpluses permanently. And so that's what our budget does. There's something unique in the baseline where deficits go down to the mid part of the next 10 years and then they go right back up. And what we want to do is get them on a downward glide path and then keep them down. We not only balance the budget, we go into surpluses and pay off the debt.
Here's Chris Van Hollen, the ranking member on the Budget Committee. He seems to disagree with everything you say. Here's an example.
I'm used to that.
Let me focus first on what our budget focuses on, which is not just economic growth and jobs in the future, but jobs and economic growth now and in the future. This Republican budget is not in balance in 10 years.
Is he right? Or is it not in balance? You've been saying we're going to balance in 10 years.
See, they're throwing new meanings to the word balance. They say that they're taking a balanced approach. The problem is their balanced approach never, ever balances the budget. And from Patty Murray and Chris Van Hollen's standpoint, a balanced approach is another $1 trillion tax increase, only followed up with more spending increases. They think that's the balanced approach. We actually balance the budget by cutting spending and not raising taxes. Spending grows 3.4% a year under our budget instead of 5%. And it balances because of that. So if you look at the 4 different budgets we're looking at, the Patty Murray budget, the Chris Van Hollen budget, the other 2 Democratic budgets, they have one thing in common: massive new tax increases, big, deep cuts to national security, only surpassed by net spending increases. So all the Democratic budgets have one theme: more taxes, higher spending, never balancing the budget. We think that's irresponsible. We think it's going to hurt the economy. We're balancing the budget to get a healthier economy, to create faster economic growth and more jobs. We want to give our kids a debt-free nation, and we want to make sure that we get government to live within its means, and that's what we propose, and that's what really balance means: balancing the budget, not raising taxes and spending.
Do you think you can get something done in conference from what you've seen of Patty Murray's, which he's submitting? Because it doesn't seem like you can. I don't see how you can do this.
You would not conclude that by looking at these 2 different approaches. We're cutting spending, we're reforming government, we're opening up, energy exploration, we're reforming the tax code, we're not raising taxes. Extremely different than the Patty Murray budget.
Tossing out Obamacare.
Yeah, we repeal Obamacare, and yes, we still do not like this law. We think it's going to be a terrible outcome of this law. It hasn't been fully implemented yet. It's got 2 years to go. We think we should repeal it and replace it. We haven't changed our opinion on that, irrespective of some people desire for us to all of a sudden throw in with this law. If you look at these 2 budgets, yeah, we're 2 worlds apart. We're literally on different planets. But at least they're passing a budget in the Senate. At least for the first time in 4 years, they're passing something. That gives me hope that the vehicle, the process of bringing a budget through is still there, so that if we ever do find consensus on debt reduction, on deficit reduction, we at least have the process through which we can drive that consensus. We're a long ways to go to get there, though.
Yeah, well, we sure hope it happens quickly so we can get our economy going in the right direction as soon as possible. Congressman, I also want to talk to you about the RNC creating a new self-image. You know, CPAC over the weekend, a few standouts: Ted Cruz, Rand Paul winning the straw poll. What do you think the future of the RNC needs to be to improve the self-image?
And in particular, because yesterday Reince Priebus came out with the autopsy on what happened in the campaign of 2012, which I'm sure you remember. What do you think?
Well, I do remember the election. I haven't read the autopsy of the RNC. I've been involved in lots of different discussions about, what went right, what went wrong. What I get out of this is we have to be honest with ourselves. What happened? What went wrong? What do we have to do to improve things? And what I'm excited about is we've got a deep bench of young talent coming to the surface, showing the country that we really have ideas and solutions and a vision. That's what matters here, is that we're actually offering solutions that improve people's lives, and we're going to be able to broaden our appeal to the country by showing these innovative solutions that make things better in this country. We really believe that this nation is in a pivotal stage, we're in a major chapter of writing the 21st century for America, and we owe it to our fellow men and women of this nation to give them solutions based on our founding principles. That's what we're doing. And the autopsy basically is a diagnostic test to figure out how do we make sure we communicate, broaden our appeal, get these principles into the minds of Americans who see that we're offering something better than more borrowing, more spending, bigger government, less freedom. That's the difference between our two parties at this time.
All right. One thing which is certain, you're going to come up and you're going to have the answers when we ask you the questions, and you'll have had worked out already. It's true, you had worked out already, right, Chairman Ryan?
Hey, look, I've got a budget I'm bringing to the floor. It's the third time we will have passed a budget, so I'm putting my ideas right on the table. We'll put our cards up.
You better start carbo loading. All right, Paul Ryan in Wisconsin. Sir, thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much.
It's going to be a long, arduous affair.
20 minutes before